Hi, and welcome to Origin of Concepts. In this episode, I'll show you exactly where the ancient cultures find the inspiration for the swastika, because it's very easy to find for those who look around. For over 11,000 years, the swastika was used globally by various cultures as a symbol of good fortune and divinity. Well, that was in the Hinduism, or the Vedas, the offspring of the Vedas. But the swastika is much older, so we really don't know what the symbolism was. I just know where it comes from. It appeared in Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism, and among Native Americans, Celtics, Greeks, and Slavic cultures. So there was many of them out there. It's no surprise that the swastika developed independently across ancient worldwide cultures, since it's clearly visible in the center of the Milky Way. So let me show you where to find the swastika. And the drums is coming now. Because this is a very famous symbol. And the swastika symbol is placed in the silvery shadow right here. Here you got the swastika, right in the spot where it fits with all the myths surrounding the swastika. So I'll let it hang there on the silvery shadow while I go through the key features from the textures. Before the rise of Hinduism and Buddhism, it was a symbol of the spirit light emanating from the golden disk in the Milky Way center. So let me outline the disk here. So it was not a symbol of the disk, but it was a symbol for the disk, because it's so close. So that's a good starter. Okay, let's get into it. The swastika is placed on the soul of Buddha, or is the footstep of Buddha. Okay, I agree already. Because the Bigfoot in the Milky Way center is exactly here. And here we got the big toe, and here we got the rest of the foot. So here we got the foot of Buddha, and many other characters around the world myth. And the swastika is right there on the sole of his foot. And we could speculate that the word soul comes from the soul or the sun in here, but that's speculation. I'll figure that out for another day. Okay, and the silvery shadow is always the foot in the myths. So when you hear the foot stepping on something, that's the silvery shadow, and the foot here. Okay, the swastika represent Buddha's heart and spirit. And there's only one heart in the Milky Way center, and that's the golden disk. That's the heart, the life, so to speak. The manifested spirit that makes the heart beat. And the Milky Way center is the heart, or the disk is the heart. So here you got the heart and spirit. The swastika is placed on the palm, on the hand. And again, I have to deeply agree, because the hand in the Milky Way center is right here. I'll just finish it here to make it more. And then we got the thumbs here holding the disc. This is always the hand, in the Milky Way center. Also the hand of the priests, when the little child must be dipped in the church. And this is both from the Vedas, but it's also in ancient Egypt. The hand sitting on the rays of the 18 disc, for example, and many other places. So here we got the swastika on the palm. Okay, the swastika is also placed on the forehead. Okay, let's take a look at that. Because the forehead, the entire Milky Way center, is always the forehead. So it's placed on the forehead, of course. And maybe you are aware of the Bindu dot. Some Hindus got on the forehead. That's related to the swastika also. Because everything in the forehead can be seen here in the Milky Way center. The swastika is stamped on the Buddha's chest to represent his spirit. And well, it's the same story because the Milky Way center is also the chest of Buddha. Here you see his shoulders, and it's right here on the chest. And by the way, there are two dark shadows on each side of the disc here. The shoulders is the shoulders in basically every myth where shoulders is mentioned. And that's around the entire world. And of course the spirit, to represent his spirit, is the spirit light, the golden light from the disc. That's the spirit of Buddha. Okay, and then, this is my favorite, because that's like the proof. Because the swastika is closely related to the elephant. And let me draw the elephant in the sky for you here, because that's great. And I have to follow my notes here. The silvery shadow is the elephant with the swastika on its side, and I'll erase everything here and draw the elephant. Here you got the elephant, and I'll just, for the display, make like a detail here. So here you got the elephant in the Milky Way, and you see the white shadow down here. So here you got the elephant, and this is the eye, by the way. So here you got the elephant, and then let's remake the swastika, because it's right here on the side of the elephant. So here you got it. I got an example here because Lord Ganesha, the Hindu god with an elephant head, is a symbol of Atman, the highest manifested spirit, which is of course visualized by the disc and the spirit again. So here you got everything. And by the way, in Denmark, where I live, we got the famous brewery Carlsberg, and they got like a main entrance or a gate with the two elephants with the swastika on the side. So good old Mr. Carlsberg, I think he read the books, so to speak, because there's a reason why you make two 10 tons granite elephants and put a swastika on the side. And I don't think it was because of the Nazis. Okay, let's move on here, because the swastika is also found among the Vikings. here in the north. And the swastika was placed on a comp. Up here we found a comp with a swastika on. And that's not, that's a reason for that. Because the swastika was placed on a comp because the striped shadow beneath the swastika in the sky looks like a comp. So let's make the swastika again here. Here we got the swastika. And now comes the comp. It's here. It's the crescent with the striped shadow. So here you got the comp. And when the Vikings, made the comp for fixing their hair, why not mirror what they saw in the sky, of course. And that's why we got the swastika on the comp. And then we can move to the next, because the swastika is also inside the lotus flower. Okay, let me remove the comp here. So the lotus, or the swastika, is inside the lotus flower. And yes, it is. Because the lotus flower is the disc surrounded by the dark shadows, the petals. So this is the closed, or the flower of the lotus. And here you got the petals, the shadows here. And the striped shadow is also a petal. So this is the opening of the lotus flower. And I know the swastika is not in the center, but as I told before, it is just symbolizing the inside of the lotus. So here you got it. And we can move on to the Native Americans, which also used the swastika. Here, we got it. The swastika in the Navajo and the Hopi tribes represent the whirling lock, or whirling wind, which is visualized by the striped shadow, exactly where the swastika is placed. And the whirling lock, let me find another color. The lock, this is the lock on the river, so to speak. But it is also, the striped shadow is also the wind blowing. So both is right. And the striped shadow is always the lock and the wood and the winds and the rain, no matter which myth you are mentioning. And the rain, if I didn't say that. So here we got it from the Native Americans. And then I make a note here about the Greek tetraskelion, which is the Greek swastika. And the swastika, or the tetraskelion, sorry, my Greek, apart my Greek, is often depicted with birds. And there's a very good reason for that. Because the bird is sitting right here with its beak and its feathers. It's basically sitting, right on top of the swastika. Let me see if I can find it here, beneath some place. Here. So the bird and the swastika is heavily related. And that's why the Greek put birds on the tetraskelion. Okay, then I got a little note here, because in the Hindu swastika, we got the 4 dots. They are sitting here between the swastika. And they represent the 4 directions, the 4 Vedas, the 4 texts, and which is the 4 directions. you have to follow to get enlightened or get contact with spirit. So just to mention it, so that's the reason why there's dots between. And I got another note here. The swastika is not the rotation of the Big Dipper, the constellation Ursa Major around the celestial North Pole, because that's a theory that you got the. Let me draw it here. You got something like the constellation, the Dipper. Let me outline it. Something like that. And when you put them together, it looks like this to form a swastika. But it has nothing to do with the constellations. Nothing. The ancients saw the swastika as it is, directly in the sky. So no mysteries about that. Let me remove that. And what else do we have here? Yeah, that was the bird thing. And then I can finish it all off with a little bonus, because the swastika also got some dark places in history with the Nazi Germany. And just to sum it all up, the Nazis was very interested in ancient mysteries, in I think it was the Tudor society, which becomes, the SS, the bad guys in the Nazis. And they, of course, used all the occult symbolism they could find, and mainly Norse mythology, sorry. And they got the eagle on a wreath with the swastika inside. And what you basically see now is the eagle and the swastika, and then we just need the wreath. And the wreath is, of course, the striped shadow here. And it's supposed to go all the way around, because that's the wreath also used, when you win the Olympics, you get the wreath around your neck, or the wreath around the head of Caesar. So that's the wreath. And here you got the main emblem for the Nazi guys. So they didn't invent it, they just took it from somewhere else. And I'm pretty sure that they have no clue about the origin in the Milky Way center. They just sent people out there to explore the ancient world and their symbolism. Okay, that's all. Now you know where to find the swastika. And thank you for watching, and until next video, take care. Bye bye.